What surprised me in the Netherlands? Let's start from like least surprising thing, and which is that there's a lot of bicycles, and it's like a stereotype that Dutch people and bicycles they are like, you know, kind of a bundle. They're combined. They always ride bicycles, but it's actually more of true than stereotype. Like it's like they are extremely common. They are everywhere. People always go by bicycles everywhere, which is like for me crazy because it's like, for example, winter and it's cold and it's raining and the wind is blowing, but people always use bicycles. And another thing that is very popular are motorbikes, and I think that kind of love for bicycles partly like because a lot of especially for motorbikes, because a lot of Dutch cities are built in a way that it's actually difficult to navigate with a car because you have a lot of one direction roads, and it's kind of annoying to have a car. And there's like the parking spots, they are very expensive, so I think it's partly tradition and partly a cultural thing, but also partly convenience, because yeah, a lot of big cities, like for example around the world, they are not built, especially in Europe, not built for cars. But especially here, it's like some places are very difficult to navigate by a car. And I know some people who want the speed, want to do this fast, want no fatigue, but yeah, they don't want to pay for a parking spot, or they don't want to stand in a traffic jam, also that. So they have motorbikes, and those things, they are like very popular, but it kind of surprised me like how popular they are, because before you come somewhere, you never know if a stereotype is more of a stereotype that actually doesn't happen, or half true, half not true, because it's usually like that it's based on something, the stereotype, but not like entirely. Like it's like, oh, it's true for some people and not true for other people. But yeah, it's like almost everybody loves bikes, and it's like crazy, because myself, I don't like bikes. For me, it was very annoying that when I would ask people how to go there and there, they always told me, oh, just take a bicycle. And I was like, I don't want to be getting wet and be like cycling in a very disgusting weather, which is like here almost every day, or maybe not almost every day, but it's very often the weather is not good. So for me, it was like no. And kind of, maybe it's kind of an excuse to have such bad transportation, because like buses here, they are so expensive, and usually the train is like the fastest. And yeah, sometimes there's no alternative of going to some place, so it's like you just have one mean of transport. You cannot have like have few you can choose between. Like for example, to some places only a train goes or only a bus goes, to some both. It depends how much of a shithole it is. Because if it's like probably if it's Amsterdam or somewhere like this, it's not like very annoying with the transportation. But if it's at some village or something like this, it may be like uh, a bus that hardly ever goes there. So and people are like, oh, just take a bicycle. And yeah, and those buses, the most annoying thing is that they are very expensive. And it's like sometimes I would, because in other countries it's mostly like buses are cheaper than trains, and here it's not a thing. They are more expensive usually, and sometimes I was like, oh, I don't want to take a train. I don't like trains, and I wanted to take a bus, and I was thinking it may be cheaper. No, it was more expensive. So it's annoying. And another thing that really surprised me, which I don't first I didn't pay attention to that much, but I work in a restaurant, is that people eat chips with mayo, like French fries. They eat them with mayo, not with ketchup. Like in most of countries, they eat them with ketchup. In here, they eat it with mayo. And also another thing that surprised me, which I didn't notice first, I was just wondering, because I took one high heels with myself, and I was wondering why I never wear them. And I was thinking like, why? And one day I wore them actually, and I was feeling like very, very strange. And later I was watching something about the Netherlands, and that person that was like, I don't remember, was it a video or was it like a blog or something like this, was like, oh, here nobody wears high heels. And then I realized why I felt so strange, because actually I had to, talk, everybody's head was like below me, because everybody was on the flat shoes and I was the only one wearing high heels. That's why I felt so strange. And yeah, that's true. Like, people don't wear high heels, and most of people here, they are very tall. Not all of them, but there's a lot of tall people, so kind of makes sense. But also, it's mostly, I think, out of comfort, because it's not very comfortable to wear them. And I I was surprised how much my environment affects how I dress, because I never thought about this. I never was like, oh, I don't want to wear high heels because nobody wears them. I just would feel strange. I wouldn't know why. And I also realized that when I went to high school, and at my high school, like when I changed high school, in my first high school, nobody was wearing high heels because that was not allowed. And in my second high school, everybody was wearing them. And suddenly I would wear high heels every day, because I felt so strange because they were so tall. And yeah, so yeah, Dutch people don't wear high heels very often. And another thing that really surprised me when I moved here is that the houses, when you walk the street and you see in the window a house, those windows, they are so pretty, they are so clean. People, I don't know if it's like about the whole house that is so clean or just the room that you can see. I was surprised because they were all so clean. I was like, how is your room so clean? Like, maybe it's because people here, it's not very they don't have anything in the windows, they don't have any a lot of people don't have any curtains or anything. It's like so strange for me. But the rooms, when you look through the window, the rooms are so clean. So it's like, I think the only dirty ones that I saw were like student houses, for example, but they aren't Dutch, so probably that's why. And another thing that right now it's not surprising for me anymore, but it was when I came here, because that was very annoying, is that they don't accept Visa card. And I was so surprised, because you think Netherlands, you think such a modern country probably, so they should be accepting like every card. But no, actually they don't have, I don't know why they don't have a reader for Visa cards in most of places. I am sorry, I knew that I will sneeze at some point because I'm ill actually right now, so yeah, it happened. I don't want to cut it out, I'm too lazy. I'm ill, sorry. And another thing that surprised me, and was, I didn't notice that before, but when I started working at McDonald's, we had those, by the way, don't work in McDonald's. That's a very bad place to work, don't do that. I had drinks, I had free drinks in theory that I could drink, but they told me, because I was new, that I will always have to ask, and sometimes they would tell me, no, you cannot drink. That was most of the time, actually. It's not a good place to work, by the way. Yeah, I already said that. But then I drank iced tea one day, and I was surprised, like, what happened to this iced tea? It's expired. What's going on? And then I learned after some time that this is actually iced tea that Dutch people drink. Like, iced tea in other countries, it's not sparkling. And in the Netherlands, it's sparkling. Like, the most basic iced tea, if you order iced tea somewhere, the one that you will be given is the sparkling one. Which is, for me, it's crazy, because it's like, it tastes like expired, at least to me. It's not good. I prefer like regular iced tea, but here it's like most basic iced tea is sparkling. You don't say, I want sparkling iced tea. You say, I want iced tea, and they will give you the sparkling one. And for me, it's very strange. Like, in other countries, it's usually like the regular iced tea, but here people drink sparkling iced tea, which I don't like. But it's just matter of your taste, what you like, what you like. And the last thing that really surprised me is something that it really really surprised me, and I learned that recently, because I didn't know that for a long time, because I don't talk about those topics with people, because it's childbirth. And actually, in the Netherlands, people, it's very common to give childbirth at home. It's like 1 in 4 people does it, which is like way above European average. Like, in most of European countries, you are always born in the hospital. And like, I actually realized, like, I always, when I think about childbirth, I think about it as something that happens in the hospital. But actually here, there's a kind of a tradition, or even like there's a kind of custom that it's like normal to give birth at home, which I was so surprised by, because when I think about it, I think about this as something very scary. And it's scary even in the hospital, especially at your home. I would be like, oh my god, where are the doctors? Like, "Wah!" And yeah, it's like quite common. It's not something that people are surprised when somebody gives birth at home. It's something that they'll be like, oh yeah, they do, and I was so shocked by this, because I know that in some countries it's like common, because they don't have, for example, many hospitals or something like this. But here it's like it's very common, and I was like, what? Like, here it's not a matter of not having hospitals, it's just like people do that, and it's like crazy. So yeah, that's actually that thing surprised me the most, I think. So I hope you enjoy. See you the next time, and bye.